Happy Monday, Sooner Nation. Welcome to Sooner Surge. If you have not subscribed to our station, make sure you do that. You hit the like and you comment. The news that everyone's been waiting for has been broken. Pete Thamel just reporting that OU is expected to hire Washington State OC Ben Arbuckle as the next offensive coordinator at the University of Oklahoma, guys. Really the guy that people were pointing to, and then it kind of there was some talk that maybe not, but it looks like it's going to be official, guys. Ben Arbuckle. You look at now the OC and DC at the University of Oklahoma. The youth movement is real here at the University of Oklahoma.
Well, and you know, Arbuckle, you mentioned it, Jeremy, a guy that people thought. I think there's some interesting things to come from this in the near future with, okay, what is the staff going to look like? What's going to happen there? Also with the transfer portal. I mean, you talk about Levy's offense and what they ran this year. This is different, and it's a little bit different offense. So big time position groups, they're going to need playmakers with this offense. You have to have playmakers in this offense. So I'm interested to see what they do in the portal and all that. But let's talk about Ben Arbuckle for a second. He is a guy that has risen the ranks very quickly to be the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. Maybe some will say too quickly. He's only 29 years old. And that's very young to be the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. Runs an air raid offense. How will that work in the SEC? Not sure. We'll find out soon enough. But to me, it's a hire that me personally, I can't sit here and say it's going to be a home run and it's going to work. I don't know yet. It's kind of like I think you are taking a risk with somebody that young and hasn't coached in the SEC. So we'll see what he does year one. They got a lot of work to do, I think, on building personnel for him, for the roster, to get it in shape for probably the way he wants it. And maybe is he going to evolve a little bit from the air raid and change it up a little bit? I'm interested to see. But I'm just glad a deal's done, and let's move on.
Yeah, Arbuckle kind of learned everything he knows from Zach Kitley, who's at Texas Tech. They were together at Western Kentucky. He played both of them a big part of that offense that Western Kentucky had that was very, very good. And then Arbuckle at Washington State last year. Cam Ward, he's a big name. He's probably going to be a first-round pick and going to potentially be in New York up for the Heisman, now at Miami. And then John Mateer, what he's doing for Washington right now. I mean, 3,100 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Then you look at the ground, 826 yards rushing with 15 more on the ground with a long of 68 yards. Washington State offense is up there, total offense there in the top 25 points per game. They're 24. At one point, their scoring offense, I think it dropped down to 12, but it was top 10 before this previous week where they lost Wyoming 15-15. So good offense, but Pac-12 / Mountain West this year. And now the question is, as Jay said, will the air raid work in the SEC? Has to for Oklahoma, or some jobs are going to be lost because it's do or die time for this staff next year.
For a guy like Arbuckle, for Brent Venables, this is a high risk, high reward thing. Obviously, you're going to hear probably some of the comparisons to Lincoln Riley, right? You have the air raid system, super young guy, one of the up and coming names in college football. And now, obviously, I'm not Brent Venables or anything, but I wonder if he kind of maybe took some of the same steps maybe that Stoops did and taking a risk on a guy that if it turns out extremely well, everyone's going to see you as a genius. Like, this is the best hire you could have made. And you would have to assume he was one of the top options on Oklahoma's board as OC to hire. And one thing that I'm interested in is if he's going to decide to roll with Jackson Arnold, or if John Mateer is going to be the guy if he transfers to Oklahoma from Washington State. Now, John Mateer, he hasn't even said he's transferring yet, so we don't even know if that's a possibility. Or if they're going to attack someone else who maybe has a lot of experience in the portal, or maybe even give a guy like a Mike Hawkins a chance to compete for the starting job. So I think there's a lot to be seen there. And Jason, I think it was you that talked about the personnel for Arbuckle for this year, upcoming in the SEC. It's that Oklahoma, we already have seen some decommitments, some transfers out from Oklahoma. I expect there probably to be some more, and a lot of guys in. So I think it's going to be interesting over these next few weeks to see what Arbuckle does and how he changes the offense.
To me, the biggest news is that it's done. This is something that had to be done. You can't wait around much longer, and it sounds like they get the guy that maybe they were planning on getting originally in the first place, but. Yeah, look, the quarterback run game was a massive integral part of this offense this year. I don't expect that to change. The biggest thing I can say about Arbuckle that I like the most, I've said it on our lives before, I like the drive and ambition this guy has. How he got up the ranks, like you said, Jay, so quickly. I mean, you listen to anyone who's been around him. He was told, yeah, you can come on here. You're not going to get paid, but come on if you want. He was there the next day. He didn't waste time. I think what you're going to get with Ben Arbuckle is a guy who's going to work hard each and every day. I think that drive is going to be a big time strength of his. And then whether or not this works in the long run, time will tell.
Well, and Jerm, I think the age thing, 29 years old is a positive and a negative. It could be both. It could be, yeah, you got drive, you got ambition, but you're also very young. You haven't coached in the SEC. So I think it's kind of like we'll find out very soon. One thing I do think, though, OU's offense this year had zero creativity other than Bauer Sharp being a trick play stud, which we all know that didn't work out. That's what Arbuckle will bring, some creativity. And that's what I do like about Arbuckle. I'm telling you right here on December 2nd, I'm not sold on this hire as a just a turnkey going to work right away. We'll see. I do think compared to Craddock, yeah, I would rather have Arbuckle. But the Mateer stuff, guys, it's going to be talked about. I think we're probably fooling ourselves if you don't think he's going to be at OU. I mean, I just think
he has to enter the portal first.
He does have to enter the portal, but I'm just saying, if he enters the portal, I mean, you could be the quarterback at the University of Oklahoma with the same offense you just ran. I mean, but I don't know.
And as it stands right now, Oklahoma still has two talented quarterbacks on roster.
Correct. What's going to happen there?
Has made a decision yet. So
yeah,
I think there's a lot of moving parts and all of that. I mean, is Jackson Arnold going to stay? Is Michael Hawkins going to stay? Who does Ben Arbuckle want? Does John Mateer want to enter the portal? There's a lot of questions there that have to be answered, but it's 2 days before the early signing day because they moved it up to December 4th. They have their guy at offensive coordinator. They'll need to potentially figure out somebody as a quarterback for that class. That will be something to watch. Kevin Sperry decommitted, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago? Can't remember how long ago it was when he decommitted, flipped to Florida State. Washington State and John Mateer, they have a quarterback, Steele Pazzilia, out of California, star, 5'11", 165, low 3-star on 247. So wouldn't imagine him. There's in-state guys, but Jamarian Ficklin, that's the big name out of Muskogee. He flipped from Texas State to Utah. So there goes one. There's a couple more options, say, in the state of Oklahoma, but those guys haven't even been offered yet. Signing day is in 2 days. So who knows what Ben Arbuckle does if they do even take a quarterback to replace Sperry in this class.
Yeah, Jay, I think you talked about not being sold on this hire yet, but realistically, out of all the guys Oklahoma could have hired, is there anyone you could have been sold day one coming into the SEC?
Well,
more than likely not, but I think that this was the best hire when you just talk about the names out there in college football, the young guys, maybe the names that are going to bring you some talent that Brent Venables realistically could have got, because they had no shot at a guy like a Will Stein. More than likely, they could have maybe got Brian Hartline, but I doubt he wants to leave what he has going at Ohio State. Yeah. So it's just, yes, there's probably no one you'd have been sold on from day one, but I think what Brent Venables did, he got the best guy he could have gotten right now.
Hey, real quick, last thing I'm going to say, Jeremy, I got to say something. When you throw out names like Arbuckle, Craddock, Spavital, a bunch of these names, to me, they're all very similar. You don't know how they're going to perform in the SEC. That's what a wait and see. But buckle up. We're going to hear it a lot. Buckle up. It's going to be a ride over the next week or two.
Hey, and listen, we're not sold on he's going to run the exact same stuff he's run in the past. Like, I mean, again, all that talk can wait. The big news is expected to happen that Ben Arbuckle will be the next OC at the University of Oklahoma, 2 days ahead of early signing day. Big time news for the program, because now the biggest thing is now you can take the step forward knowing there's not a question mark. That sounds like this is a done deal. Ben Arbuckle, OC at the University of Oklahoma. We'll have much more to come. We have the live show tonight. You can call in, give your opinions on this. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We'll see you guys later.